Recently, I've watched a lot of Tenkaichi 2 content on YouTube. I mean, it's not a lot out there. Most of the time you just get Let's Plays and people mistaking Tenkaichi 2 for Shin Budokai 2 for some reason. Yeah, anyway, I've also recently taken a closer look at the offense everyone is exhibiting. To put it simply, ways to approach, mix-ups, but most importantly, well, the combos. I know. I'm not known to have a lot of great stuff to say about Tenkaichi combos, but after all it's said and done, combos are the main part of fighting games, and Tenkaichi 2 is no different. So, what did I notice? Well, square. Lots and lots of rush strings and smashes. Not at all bad per se, but I really do wish more people would experiment with the tools that the game gives you. But then I realized, no one knows what tools this game has. I mean, come on, most people didn't even play the in-game tutorial. What are we expecting? So, let me show you what this game can let you do. Quick disclaimer, this video will not cover everything. Obviously, I'm giving you all plenty of room for experimentation. Now, I'm gonna start with the easiest combo methods and go up in difficulty as we go along. But before we do that, I gotta give some context about Tenkaichi 2's combat system. Here are the rules. Rule number 1. Always attack from behind. Attacking from behind is your main goal in Tenkaichi 2. There is no way to defend against it, save for explosive waves, and it gives you a 50% increase in damage. Rule number 2. Stay safe. In the Tenkaichi community, safe combos are what we call combos that one cannot teleport from. This means attacks like the heavy finish are out of the question for these combos, as they can be teleported. The unsafer the combo, the more likely it is for the opponent to get out of it, so always try to stay as safe as possible. Rule number 3. Repeating will be punished. Intermittently. There are a lot of techniques you can do in Tenkaichi 2. Heavy finish, flying kicks, ground slash, etc. Using them is great. But use them a second time, and the combo will end. There is nothing I know of that can avoid this issue. This doesn't exclude all attacks though. The smash attacks can be chained infinitely in one combo. Rule number 4. Combo sets make a difference. This is a rush string. It just consists of 5 square presses. These are the building blocks for any combo, but within one it behaves differently. There's 2 combo sets, the primary ones and the secondary ones. They are different attacks in the game files. And the secondary set has longer hit stuns, meaning it gives you the most options. The first rush string you'll enter, it'll always be primary. Everything after that, secondary. A chain cancel or a key blast will revert the combo back to the primary set. Now with that being out of the way, let's talk tools. The first one I want to mention is the easiest, and the one most people are familiar with. The Violent Rush. All you gotta do is charge up to max power, and then mash square. After around the 9th hit, it can be guarded against if you do it from the front. If you do want to use it, make sure you do it from the back to get the most out of it. The Violent Rush is tied to max power, meaning as soon as the max power mode runs out, the Violent Rush is no more. Staying in max power, you also have the max power combo, which looks really cool and does more damage, though this one is more of a combo ender. Also, you have more dragon humming and vanishing attacks. You can steer the opponent to the map barrier with these 2 moves, which will make them bounce off and give you an opportunity to continue your combo. Keep in mind, however, that both dragon humming and vanishing attacks can be teleported, so they're not safe. The next thing is one of the most broken aspects of Tenkaichi 2, but I can't not mention it. The ground and pound. This technique consists of doing a rush string and interrupting it using an R2 cancel. It's very effective. Some might say a little too effective. You can infinitely chain rush strings together using it, and it's completely safe. Do it from the back, Don't mess up your R2 cancel timing, and the match is over. Unless the opponent has an explosive wave or something similar. Because of this, in this video I will not mention the ground and pound again, in an effort to give the other tricks some more spotlight. Now, let's talk rushing techniques. Rushing techniques are what the game calls combo moves. All of these moves here are designated rushing techniques. I've actually seen people who never use them, so I have to mention, you can do these techniques with triangle. Yeah, okay. Let's go into a bit more detail. Starting off with the directional rushing techniques. Rolling hammer. A punch that turns your opponent around. Note, however, that it is teleportable and thus unsafe. Not every character has it. Lift strike. A kick that launches your opponent in the air. This can be followed up by a lift strike heavy and the air combo. Note that the heavy finish and the lift strike heavy are considered different attacks and can be used in the same combo. Ground slash. A slash making the opponent fall down. While in the ground slash stun, one can use the giant throw on the opponent. Note that you can only initiate this giant throw from the front. Its stun is also similar to a heavy finish and can be interrupted. And speaking of the heavy finish, let's continue on to the main ones, with heavy finish. You use one of these bad boys and you stun the opponent for a good bit. Note that once the stun is over, the hit counter resets, so try to interrupt the stun to keep it going. A simple ki blast would do the trick, for example. Ki cannon. This one and the blaster wave are both unfortunately very hard to use. Most characters can't chain with them, meaning that the hit counter will reset whenever you use it. That being said, it is a safe move, which means it can't be teleported. Now before I continue, I must stress that using any of these rushing techniques will enter the secondary combo set. This is important, as stated in Rule 4, as the secondary set opens up a plethora of options. To give an example of just that, let's take a closer look at the last rushing technique. Flying kicks. A couple of kicks from the top. This one is a very versatile tool. For one, you cannot teleport them, making them completely safe. In order to show their use, here's an example. This is two rush strings put together using a step-in. Think of this as the control. This is two rush strings put together using flying kicks. As you can see, a lower damage output. But why should I use them then? Because of their hit stun. You can chain a multitude of attacks after flying kicks. Here we have Vegeta using flying kicks to chain a jump attack into a Dragon Tornado. Back to our example. This is two rush strings put together using flying kicks with charged ki blasts. As you can see, the damage is way higher. Huh? This brings us to the next combo extender. Ki blasts. Usually people use ki blasts on range to get more cheap damage in. But that's not all they can do. You can shoot some ki blasts, then chain dash and ki blasts together using a free will. And for those who didn't watch my movement differences video, the free will is a technique which allows you to dash in the step-in barrier by throwing a ki blast and dashing as soon as the animation ends. Back to our example. This is two rush strings put together using flying kicks with this trick after. Even more damage than the charged ki blasts. This is where Rule 4 comes in, because if you chain with ki blasts, the second rush string will revert to the primary combo set. Other than that, the type of ki blast can differ between characters. Some can have multiple on stage, others throw paralyzing ones. Whatever the case, you can build some very interesting combos with ki blasts. A very underused tool. Now, going far up in difficulty, next up, we have cancels.
We'll see who cancels who.
Every chargeable melee attack can be cancelled. Do the cancel fast enough, and you can chain two rush strings together using them. Back to our example. This is 3 rush strings put together with first a step in and second a smash cancel. As you can see, the Ki Blast one's got a beat in damage, but it's still the best melee only choice. That being said, you can also combine the two to get the best of both worlds. This is 3 rush strings put together with first a step in, second a heavy finish cancel, followed up by Ki Blasts. It completely blows everything else out of the water. You may have gotten a little confused from that last comparison. Why am I comparing a combo with 3 rush strings to a combos with 2? Isn't that a little unfair? Usually yes, but not this time. You see, the reason I'm only comparing these combos is because these ones here are all safe. There is no way to get out of these combos without either a combo breaker or evasive blast ones. This last one is the biggest safe combo that I am able to come up with. The timing for a cancel is character and attack dependent, so I implore you to lap this if you're interested.
Back to the lab again, not again.
There's no cancel that I know of that works in the primary combo set, so you have to get into the secondary set for cancels to chain. As per Rule 4, the rush string after a chain cancel will be in the primary combo set. This means, after a cancel or Ki Blast, you will need another smash or rushing technique to go back into the secondary set and continue the combo. On to the last combo extender I want to talk about today. This one is hard to explain. Think of a Dragon Dash cancel. Alright, for those who don't know what a Dragon Dash cancel is, I explained it in the Tenkaichi 3 section of my movement differences video. Now, imagine this DDC, but without Dragon Dashing. Here's an example. I use a throw, then dash towards the opponent. Now, you gotta get to the ground. In this example I am already on the ground, so I jump dash over the opponent. If you descend and hold forward at the right time, you're able to flank the opponent and keep the combo going. Probably one of the most stylish combo extenders that I know of. And for completion's sake, here's an example where I first had to descend before jump dashing. This extender doesn't work with all types of throws or rush blast 2s. Additionally, your character can also be too slow to go behind the opponent in time. So this is another thing to lap, if you're interested on using it.
Not again.
And now that you're filled with game knowledge, I thought it might be interesting to take a look at 2 combos of my own and explain what's going on. The first one I've done very recently. It's a very technical and thus very stylish Piccolo combo. Let's break it down. I start by using flying kicks. I follow that up with jumping Ki Blasts into dashing Ki Blasts. This alone gives me an extra 2.4 thousand damage. So now I want to use Piccolo's throw for the follow-up from earlier. But just using it would break the combo, so I bridge it with a heavy finish. Like before, after this dash, I'm still in the air, so I have to descend to the ground, then immediately start a jump dash to go above Gohan, and descend to be right behind him. Next up, I want to use a ground slash. But because I used a throw, I'm back in the primary combo set, which I can't chain a ground slash with. So that's why I use a smash, and then the ground slash right after. While Gohan is still in the ground slash animation, I descend to get grounded, and use an Enigma dash to do a reverse flank to Gohan's front. And this is just to be able to giant throw, which finally ends the combo with a light grenade. Well, wasn't that something, huh? There's a lot that goes into making combos such as that one, but it's got nothing on combo number 2. This one is a combo I have originally posted as its own video 5 months ago. Jesus! I really have been slacking off, haven't I? Well, anyway, it's a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta TOD combo. Let's break it down. Considering this is a TOD combo, I'm going for maximum damage. That's why I prepare the combo with a finish sign, in order to squeeze out every last bit of damage that I can. Onto the combo itself. I start with a heavy finish. The head stun I interrupted by using jumping ki blasts into dashing ki blasts. As stated before, ki blast mid-combo revert the next rush set back to being primary. This time though, it's not a big concern because I haven't used the step-in yet, which I use now. This brings me into the secondary set, giving me the opportunity to chain a cancel to get the next rush, which reverts the next rush back to the primary set again. I want to use an upward smash, but in the primary set this could break the hit counter. That's why I first used the ground slash to give me enough stun to use the smash, which I only did to set up the spirit breaking cannon. The Spirit Breaking Cannon is a Rush Blast 2 that has a static position, meaning wherever you initiate it, you'll end up in the middle of the stage. And now because of that, the pseudo DDC from before is possible. Now to finish the combo, I turn Goku around with a rolling hammer to get that sweet 50% damage increase and use a lift strike to end it. Now obviously, I do not recommend trying these combos if you're just starting out. This takes a lot of practice. There is a lot under the hood that's happened here, and I hope that with this video, you're able to understand it a lot better. Which brings us to the end. I hope you learned something from this, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see more Tenkaichi 2 content on YouTube with more interesting concepts than, you know, the violent rush. But, you know, that's just wishful thinking. For now, I hope you're having a great day.